Hello again, Facebook friends. I just wanted to show you what we're having for supper. Um, it's an original recipe. My brother, he's deceased now, but he came up with this, and it's called Pot Lasagna. And so what we do is we have 2 bags of the no yolk, as you can see, the no yolk egg noodles. Well, we're steaming up there, so let me show you the bag. We have the 2 bags of no yolk, extra broad, and this is a 12-ounce bag. I use 2 of these, and I put them in a pot of boiling water with a little bit of olive oil. You can see that. Let's see if I can get my camera to work in here. There we go. And then I use also a 2-pound pack of ground beef. I've got it browned already, and I use olive oil in it. And another thing I wanted to tell you guys while we're on here is in my baking cakes and cookies and so on, I don't use olive oil. I use vegetable oil, corn oil, or canola oil, because olive oil just does not seem to work in baking. So I think the most healthiest choice would be canola oil, or something like that, or vegetable oil. So anyway, what I'm going to do here to my you know how I am with this butter. I'm going to put a little bit. Well, I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to wait till I drain my noodles to do that. And you've also heard that if you put a wooden spoon over a pot like that, it will not boil over. That is true. That's a true fact right there. So I'm going to get my noodles good and tender, and then while that's working, I'm going to get my ground beef. And I'm going to put some salt to my, just guessing at it, I'm going to say maybe, and you'll have to do yours. If you do yours, you'll guess at it. I'm thinking maybe a tablespoon. I always have to add salt at the end when I mix it all together. And then black pepper, and you know how I love the black pepper. I'm just going to take the lid off of that, and I'm going to add my black pepper. This is a hearty, healthy, not really healthy because it's got the carbs of the egg noodles, but well, I don't think it has carbs because it is a no yolk. No, I don't have cholesterol. It does have carbohydrates, 40 grams per bag. I usually take a fresh onion and chop it up really, really fine. Like I said, my family doesn't like big hunks of onion. They like them real fine. But today, I've got these up in the cabinet, and there's not much in here. It's minced dried onions, and it works just as good. So I'm going to go ahead, and that's probably, I guess I better measure for you guys, just so if you want to. This is 1/4 of a cup, so that's not hardly 1/4 of a cup. So I've got some more here. You have to have some onion in it, and this is the onion. It's just great value onion, dried onion, minced onion, and you have to have some onion in it. A lot of people, if you don't like onion, you know, you can use the onion powder, which I have. It does call for garlic powder or fresh garlic. I don't use garlic because of my daughter has a sensitivity to garlic or the smell of garlic. Also, I use onion powder, and I'm going to go ahead and stir this up and let that be. I'm going to put a little bit of butter in there just so it'll have some moisture for the onion. All right, then as these are boiling over here and doing really good, and you can have a salad with this. I think those are just about done. It don't take long. You can have a salad with this, or you can have garlic bread. I don't use any bread with it at all. I think the family sometimes uses a piece of garlic bread or cheese bread, which is really good. But then we add, and you go and guess at this too, and it's to your flavor. This is Italian seasoning, and I just take the lid off because, you know, I like Italian seasonings. I like seasonings. Your seasonings brings out the best of your food. So there's the Italian. and oregano. I love oregano. You have to have some oregano in this too. I know the Italian seasoning has oregano in it, but it don't have enough for me. So this is, like I said, this is my brother's recipe. He's passed away, but he made this up one day with the things he had at home. And it turned out wonderful. So we all love it. So now I'm just going to go ahead and get these seasonings to working in. Oh, let me show you while this is warming up here. Let me show you this pan that my sweet neighbor got me. I have never seen a pan, a muffin pan, this big. But I am so thankful to have it. I think it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, 26 things at one time. And this is gorgeous, and I love this, and I thank her for that. She is just a sweet neighbor, my neighbor, sweet neighbor Billy Joe, and I just love her. So while this is frying up, getting the seasonings in and the butter all together, I'm going to go ahead and drain this. I don't like a wet, I'm going to go ahead and drain that. Got my calendar already ready. So I'm going to set that back over here. And by the way, folks, I do work part-time job, and I do work tomorrow. So got those drained, got that ready, and I'm gonna put that stick of butter, that almost a whole stick of butter, right there in those noodles. And that's a lot butter. Also, I'm going to put this right here. This is my favorite, and I've used this for years. It's ragu, old world style, with meat. So I use almost, if not all this, I'll use it because this is a big pot of noodles, and what we don't eat, I cook like cooking for an army. What we don't eat, I'm going to put a little water in this. I always put in the freezer containers. I mark a date on it and put pot lasagna, and this will last up to 3 months in your freezer. So if you want to make a big portion, you can make it all at one time and then just take it out. I buy those containers at Walmart. They're the black ones. They're like maybe $4 or $5 for 4 or 5. They come in a pack. So I'm going to turn the heat up on this and let this begin to sizzle and bubble. And while that's doing that, as you can see, this has went by really quick after you get your ground beef browned and your noodles cooked. It's not much after that. So we'll put this back over here. And I was going to show you, I also use a lot of cheese in this dish. So we're going to get this to boiling, and I'm going to go ahead and put some cheese in this. Let me wash my hands. Okay, and let that begin to melt with that butter. And I don't know, there's one. I don't think you can get too much cheese. 2, and we're going to say 3 big handfuls if you want to measure it like that. If not, that's probably about, I want to say 4 cups, maybe 4.5 cups. We'll leave that sitting there just in case we need any more, or I feel like I have to guess at it. My brother didn't write down the recipe. He just showed me how to make it one day, and I kept it. I couldn't make it for a long time. He got killed by a drunk driver in 1980, and I miss him every day. I still miss him every day. But anyway, this is something he left me to remember him by, and the whole family loves this. So I'm going to go ahead and start stirring this while the ground beef and the spaghetti sauce and all those wonderful spices are getting bubbly there. And I'm going to get out a big 8-quart stainless steel bowl, because that's usually what I mix it in. Sometimes I don't know how to bake or make little, because when my children were small, I always made enough for them and their friends, and never have I had to turn anybody away that come in. And you know, there's an old saying, always make extra, because you don't know who will come at your door and they might be hungry. So I always make extra. If I have extra, like I said, I can put it in the freezer. It will last up to 3 months. So I'm going to be stirring some more of this. But I'm going to go ahead and put this in this big bowl and get that ready, because I'm going to put it all together. I saw a video the other day where Brenda Gant got a recipe from somebody in Tennessee. Like I said, I live in Dandridge, Tennessee. I'm originally from Newport, Tennessee, and I want to show you what this looks like right here. You see that, folks? It's a big old bowl. This is an 8-quart stainless steel bowl. But we're letting that butter melt, and I'm going to go ahead and check on this meat here too. Anyway, she had a recipe sent to her from someone about a jam cake that used strawberry preserves or jam, I guess. I'm going to try that recipe, Brenda, if you're watching, and I'm going to see what I'm thinking about, maybe using blackberry jam for the jam cake, and I'll try to put it on video, and we can see if it works for me. If it don't work for me, then there's something wrong. I mean, it was a beautiful cake after you got done with it. You done a terrific job, Miss Gant, of putting that together, and I know the cake was delicious. But we're going to see how it turns out. It may not even turn out for me. You never know. So right now we've got this. I need to get this to where it's bubbling, and I'm going to take a spoon and taste of the sauce, because now's the time to put salt or more seasoning in it. I'm going to put just a little more. You know me and my little dabs of salt. So there's a couple dabs, because we've got to think about the noodles too, and I didn't put any salt in the noodles. I just put olive oil. So this is beginning to bubble. And you want to watch this, because if you don't, you're going to have a mess all over your stove. I talked to Miss Marcia Ball. She was excited to get her skillet pineapple upside down cake, and I hope they enjoy that, and her family. She's one of my a neighbor that I grew up with, one of the only girl in our neighborhood, and been a long time friend. I really respect her. She's a very beautiful, elegant woman. I always looked up to her growing up. She was just always very elegant and dainty, and I was just like I told her today, I was just a pure tomboy. So, and I guess I still got a little bit of tomboy in me, but I can't climb those trees like I used to. I'll tell you that right now. But this is what I do that I love. So this is bubbling. It's going to boil out on me. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and turn this over into this big bowl. Every bit of that. Every bit of it. I'm going to take the spatula and I'm going to scrape that out, because that is some good stuff right there. And like I said, if any of you want this recipe, I'll be more than glad to share it with you. Let me get this over here where you can see what I'm doing. I tell you what, when I look at my videos, I just feel like I just sound so country And I wish I was more like some of the ladies that are on the videos on their cooking shows. They just sound like true Southern belles. And I wished I could do that. I have my granddaughter-in-law that got married this past July. Her grandmother, we call her GM. Her name is Dorothy Bliss, and she has some of the beautifulest speaking I have ever heard. It's just gorgeous. She is Georgia Southern belle, and let me tell you, I could just listen to her all the time. All right, this is beginning to come together, and I just know that this is going to be delicious, you all. It's going to be very delicious, very filling. Not a whole lot of money in it. Of course, the ground beef is, you know, if you've looked yourself, you know it's expensive everywhere. So what I usually do is I usually get one of the little noodles out after I get it stirred up real good, and I'm going to see if it needs any more salt or more butter. Sometimes I put another half a stick of butter in there. If it don't taste good enough to me, I just stick some more in there. But it's looking really good. Let me get a fork so I can go ahead and try this, and I'm going to let you look at it. Okay, I'm going to get me just a little, or goes this word again, little dab out. And I'm going to get it from right here. Let's see if I can get it right here. I'm going to let you see that. And I'm going to let you see this right here. See there what a huge bowl that is? I'll give you a close-up here in just a minute. Thank you, Jesus, for this food. Bless it, make it nourishing, Lord. In Jesus' name. You know what? I think that's just about good. I'm going to put just a little more salt. That's a lot of noodles and stuff. So you have to adjust your salt to your liking. Some people are on a low sodium diet, so you have to adjust it to you. But that's a whole lot of food. And I didn't put, if you really think about it, I didn't put all that much. So I'm going to put just a little bit more oregano. Like I said, I like the spices. Oregano, I don't know if you know or not, but I'm not sure if it's the dried oregano. I think it may be the oregano oil, but any oregano back before there was antibiotics, oregano is a natural antibiotic. So I think the Greeks and Italians use a lot of oregano and the garlic, and they have pretty good health. So I know that I've read a lot of things about the spices that you use, and oregano is a natural antibiotic. Of course, onions and garlic is really good for you too, as far as cutting out cholesterol and making your arteries really good. So I'm going to try this again. I think that's got it, folks. That's really good. I may spread some more cheese just on top, just for appearance. I'll tell you what my grandson likes this with. He'll get a bowl of this, and then he will get some low-fat cottage cheese and put on the side, and he loves it like that. So I'm going to get out a different spoon that my family can use to dip them some out. And we usually eat this out of a bowl, you know, a small bowl. So I'm going to get this up here where you can see it. All right.